Welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right into a profoundly moving Victorian guide, all about finding real, tangible meaning in our daily human connections. I mean, have you ever actually wondered how to build a meaningful existence day by day, interaction by interaction? Well, today we're unpacking a concept I like to call the architecture of grace. We're going to break down a very specific, highly intentional framework that's literally designed to help us navigate the messy complexities of being human. So get ready, because we're about to totally reconstruct the way you look at every single person you cross paths with today. Okay, let's dive into this because it really is the ultimate question, isn't it? What makes this life worthwhile? We spend so much of our time chasing after these massive milestones, career peaks, and grand achievements, kind of just hoping that at the end of the road, those are the things that will validate our existence. But what if we have the formula completely upside down? We're going to look at a brilliant, short, classic piece of Victorian literature that answers this timeless question perfectly. And the crazy thing is, it does it by shifting our focus entirely away from the macro, big picture stuff and zeroing right in on the absolute microscopic moments of our days. Section 1. Meet George Eliot, the architect behind the words. Now, to truly get the power of this framework, we first need to meet the brilliant mind who constructed this specific philosophy of grace. Her real name was Mary Ann Evans, born back in 1819, but the world would come to know her by her wildly famous pen name, George Eliot. Operating right in the thick of the Victorian era, she was an incredibly prominent English novelist, poet, and journalist. And what makes Eliot so endlessly fascinating is her profound psychological insight into just ordinary lives. She didn't just write stories. She meticulously observed the connective tissue between people. Under that pen name, she delivered some of the absolute most astute observations on human nature in all of English literature. And the piece we are examining today distills all of that profound insight into just a few unbelievably powerful lines. Section 2. The Memoriter Method. Learning by heart. So before we actually look at the text itself, we need to understand exactly how Eliot intended for us to consume it. Because this isn't just a poem you casually read once, nod your head, and forget about. It utilizes a very specific, deliberate format. Now, what's really interesting about this is the concept of a memorandum. By definition, a memorandum is a text that is explicitly intended to be learned by heart. Think about that for a second. Eliot didn't just want to entertain us, she literally wanted to install a mental blueprint directly into our daily operating system. She structured the words so that they could be easily internalized, repeated, and carried with you everywhere you go. It's a philosophy meant to be actively retrieved in real time, exactly in those fleeting moments when you're standing face to face with another human being. Section 3. Anatomy of a Connection. Deconstructing the poem. All right, let's break down this mental blueprint piece by piece. We're going to deconstruct the poem, making life worthwhile, giving it the deliberate pacing it deserves. Just look at the absolute inclusivity of this very first directive, every soul that touches yours. Not just your friends, not just your family or your favorite colleagues, every single soul. And she clarifies it right away, be it the slightest contact. We're talking about the person handing you your coffee, the person you hold the elevator door for, that random stranger you pass on the street. Eliot is elevating these microscopic, everyday interactions and telling us they hold immense weight. Your instruction is clear. Ensure that they get some good from you, no matter how quick or seemingly insignificant the intersection of your lives might be. Then, Eliot zooms in even closer, defining exactly what that good actually looks like. And the beautiful thing is, it doesn't require grand financial gestures or massive life-altering sacrifices. It's simply some little grace, one kindly thought. Each phrase here acts as a tiny mini-narrative of human connection. Think about it. To inspire an aspiration yet unfelt in someone else just by how you treat them, that is a profoundly powerful gift. You literally have the ability to awaken a sense of hope or possibility in another person simply through the dignity and kindness you afford them in a 2-second exchange. But, Eliot isn't naive here. She knows perfectly well that life isn't just a continuous series of pleasant little exchanges. Notice the sharp contrast she creates. She pits the warmth of human connection directly against the harsh, inevitable reality of life's darkening sky. Because we all experience seasons where the sky seems to be darkening, whether that's through grief or stress or just immense hardship. And in those heavy moments, your tiny act of grace might be the exact bit of courage someone desperately needs to just keep putting one foot in front of the other. You might be completely oblivious to the storm they're walking into, but your courage, it becomes their armor. Let's move to the next part and see how this builds. Because she follows that darkening sky with the thickening ills of life. Life's challenges compound, don't they? They thicken. But against that dense wall of hardship, Elliot prescribes one gleam of faith. It's absolutely fascinating how she uses light as the ultimate antidote. Notice you don't have to provide the whole sun, you don't have to fix everything. You just have to provide a single gleam. These tiny, shared acts of faith provide the collective structural strength that is absolutely crucial for us to brave the difficulties of the human experience together. Section 4. Gathering rays of light, the analogy for understanding. To really anchor this in our minds so we can actually use it today, let's shift gears and analyze the underlying analogy at play. Because this is what makes Eliot's 19th century message so deeply, deeply actionable for our fast-paced modern lives. And this brilliantly illustrates the core metaphor. Living a worthwhile life is exactly like gathering small rays of light. Every kindly thought, every bit of courage, and every single gleam of faith you share acts as a distinct, bright ray of light. You are actively pushing back against the dark for everyone you touch. It's not about waiting around for a single blinding moment of enlightenment or massive success. No, it's the steady, daily accumulation of these tiny, luminous moments that ultimately brightens the path for everyone involved. Section 5. A surer heritage, the ultimate goal. Which brings us to the incredibly powerful conclusion of the poem, where Eliot reveals the ultimate cumulative impact of gathering all these individual rays of light. So, the crucial point is this. True greatness and a truly worthwhile existence isn't found in isolation, and it sure isn't found in ego. It is built entirely through these tiny, daily moments of shared grace. By giving someone one glimpse of brighter skies, you don't just elevate their day, you fundamentally validate your own existence. You literally make this life worthwhile. And for Eliot, this daily, relentless practice of grace is what makes heaven a surer heritage, meaning we are actively constructing a more heavenly, elevated reality right here on Earth, piece by piece, simply through our deliberate kindness to one another. Which leaves us with the only question that truly matters right now. You've got the blueprint in your hands. You understand the architecture of a meaningful interaction. So you have to ask yourself, who will you share a ray of light with today? Don't let this just be another explainer you watched and forgot about. Let it be the memorator it was always designed to be. Take this mental framework out into the real world today. Look for that slightest contact and provide that one bit of courage. Thank you so much for joining me, and I challenge you to go out there and make this life worthwhile.